Okay, so let's start. Let's start. Let's get started. We already live. I don't know if Yasmin is mommy and daddy able to join in. Share the either on Zoom. Let's start.
Daddy is out and mommy is busy.
Okay, so they're unable to join in.
Yes.
Okay. You can share with them that link I put in the chat. It's a YouTube live. We are live on YouTube, so if you're able to probably just look into it via YouTube, that would also be a plus.
Okay.
Hope you have your project ready.
Yes.
And your PowerPoint.
Yes.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, so welcome to the Codecamp presentation in this May first time holiday. My name is Edward Sempala, and I'm going to be the one in charge of moderating this presentation. With us here, we have Yasmin, and she's going to be taking us through what she has been able to cover this particular class for Scratch Intermediate, and then also showcase a project that she has been able to come up with within the given SDG. So I'll go ahead and I welcome Yasmin. Yasmin, you're welcome. Kindly tell us about yourself, and then mainly your names, your age, where you go to school, and with the class you've been in, who has been your tutor, and what have you learned, and then you show us the project that you've come up with.
Okay. So my name is Yasmin Mwanje. I am 13 years old and I am in Taiba International School. My teacher for Scratch Intermediate has been teacher Rogers, and I've learned so many things from his lessons, like how to make games, how to use variables and operators, and also how to make a backdrop, a moving backdrop. So I have a presentation I would like to share about good health and well-being. It's my SDG that I'm working on.
Okay, you can proceed.
Let me just share my screen. So is the
use a full screen.
Yeah, let me put a slideshow. So yes, I have already introduced myself. Next, I would like to talk about health, good health and well-being. What is health, you may ask? Health is a state of complete emotional, mental, and physical well-being. What is well-being? Well-being is the state of being happy, comfortable, or healthy. I just made a typo here, I'm very sorry. But it's supposed to be comfortable, healthy, or happy. Next, I move on to why I chose this SDG. I chose this SDG because healthy functioning promotes a person's plasticity, which allows him or her to be resilient, flexible, and free in the choice of valued actions to which they commit. I also chose it because ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being is important because it builds prosperous societies. And I chose this SDG because when I went to Mulago Hospital, I saw patients without any medical workers attending to them, and there were many. Um, so my problem story is Uganda continues to face a severe shortage of critical health workers, according to the Health Ministry. The national health system performs poorly and staff encounter challenges with accommodation and transport, not to mention months without pay. On top of that, health facilities lack adequate medicines and proper equipment. Just 69% of health posts are filled PDF according to figures for 2015. In 2013, the doctor to patient ratio was estimated at 1 to 24,725, with a nurse to patient ratio of 1 to 11,000. The World Health Organization, in brackets WHO, recommends one physician per 1,000 people. Although the Institute of Public Policy Research Uganda, a think tank, sued the government in 2014 to stop the loss of 263 health workers to Trinidad and Tobago, that court case is still pending, and some 3,000 medics left the country between March and June this year alone, according to estimates of activists. So the true life story is a woman named Maria lived in the village with 2 kids. They never had any water and they used to fetch from the lake. They had no mosquito nets to protect them from mosquitoes at night, and they were never eating a balanced diet. Her 2 kids always got diseases like typhoid and malaria, but she didn't have enough money to take them to the hospital for treatment. Eventually, one of her kids passed away, and after that incident, she went to the city with her child, got a job, and treated her kid well. So my solution is, I think the government should help people in villages by resettling them or providing them with jobs. I also think the government should have doctors even in the rural areas, and the treatment should not be very expensive. The government should provide doctors with protective equipment to prevent the spread of diseases, and the government should pay doctors well so they cannot quit their jobs.
Okay, thank you. We can proceed.
This is my snippet code. An example of my snippet code. And my conclusion is, I encourage the government and other stakeholders to ensure that health workers are well paid and are given the necessary equipment to protect them while at work. That was my presentation, and my scratch is here. Worked very hard on it. So this is called the doctor game by me. So we're going to go to how to play. Use the arrow keys to move the doctor left and right. Whenever the doctor hits the jam, the game ends. When the timer runs out, the game stops. You have 50 seconds to heal as many patients as possible. So now let's play.
The health worker has lost her life. Let us encourage the government to provide safety personal protective gears to keep the safe.
That was an example of how it will be if you lose the game. Whenever they treat the sick patient, they get paid.
The health worker has lost her life. Let us encourage the government to provide safety personal protective gears to keep the safe.
Now I'll try my best to win at my own game. So as you can see, some patients are not being treated, and that's because we don't have a lot of health workers in Uganda, mostly because they are not being paid well.
The doctor is tired and unable to work on any more patients.
This is why we need more doctors, because you can't expect a few doctors to treat thousands of patients. That was my presentation. I hope you enjoyed.
Wow, thank you so much for the presentation. I'd like to put a few questions across. Let's first go back to the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the presentation. From the PowerPoint, as you pull it up, a few things that really should be corrected. Get back to the first slide. Things like, let's go back to the first slide. Things like spelling mistakes,
Yes.
like the word intermediate, then you're beginning the name Kaiba with a small t, and then you have 13Y. Someone may not understand what you're meaning at that point in time.
Yes.
So it's better for us to be keen when we are doing a presentation. Go on to the next slide. The choice of the theme is okay. We worked with black and that. So you're having what is health, and then you're having what is well-being. And you realize that you're bulleting the point on health, but then you don't bullet the point on well-being. Here, what is lacking is uniformity. You either would bullet both or not bullet at all. And then you just name the questions that would be good. Let's go on to the next slide. So here you give a reason why you chose this SDG. Continue. That was okay. Then here you read a story for the problem. Let's proceed. That also was okay. Then there is a problem story and the true life story. I don't know what's the difference and how both tie into this, but I would think that we could have a way of combining them. Yeah, but the stories, I'm trying to find how they both correlate with the project, because you're addressing doctors, in hospitals being few and then many patients, and then I'm seeing that you're also sharing a story about a woman named Maria in the village with 2 kids, and they never had any water. And then one of her kids died. And that is that she went to the city with her child, got a job, and treated her kid well. So I don't know what you're trying to depict here in this story, but I find it somehow not really correlating with what you saw. Yes, it's a child dying and a child dying because of poor, of some diseases like typhoid, malaria, and they don't have money for treatment. They don't have doctors to treat them. So we could have tied this more closely to the earlier version of the story, just to have it fit in. Okay.
Yes.
Next slide. Yeah, the suggestions you're giving to government are okay. However, I also would want to. I would have had this feel more better if it's addressing the game that you've come up with in a way to cause awareness to the people out there that we need more doctors in hospitals, like to children, other than giving government suggestions on what to do. Okay, because in this aspect we are solving the problem, other than we trying to recommend what someone should do to solve the problem. So I would have seen something here like the doctor game. Then you be like, this game can be played by children and parents and people, and it's meant to create awareness of the need for more doctors in our health centers and inspire more children to go to school and study and be doctors. Okay, because now you show them the need, and like we need more doctors in our hospitals. So you're trying to send the message across to the people while they play the game. They realize, hey, we need more doctors to handle all these patients that are coming in our hospitals. So I would think that this would be the solution that you are putting across, other than us seeing these things you're trying to tell government to do. Okay, so this slide is a bit off. We can have that improved, and then when you submit one that has a better version. When here we talk about the game you've come up with. Then the next slide. Now that's okay. The code snippet, you would have called it the code snippet for the solution that we have created. Okay, because here we are creating the solution to the problem. Next slide. Is it the last? Okay. Okay. Conclusion: encourage the government and other stakeholders to ensure that workers are well paid and are given the necessary equipment to protect them while at work. Yes, even this needs to be a bit adjusted. How you would recommend people to play your game and understand the urgency of the need of doctors within our health centers in Uganda, other than again recommending to encourage government to pay health workers. Okay, that would really be a solution that is tied to the problem you're addressing, the way you've come up with the solution of a game. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Otherwise, that's my view. The other view I would give on the project is that it's good the way it's designed, but I think we could add something small, and that is the feeling of treating different kind of patients here and there. And this would come in by us creating more costumes for a single sprite. Okay, like you go back to the project, like those various sprites that you're working with. If only we could have the Scratch project. Let's go back to the Scratch project. I'm still seeing the PowerPoint.
The PowerPoint.
Let's open the Scratch project. Now, this one was good, but then I think that you would make it more engaging to show that we have many patients coming in for treatment other than having a single one coming in every other time, like the guys you're having. That would mean that we would work with different costumes. For example, for that project, for that sprite, for the guy who is on oxygen and is wearing a gray shirt, that would mean that we could create many costumes for him and then just change the color for the shirt. So the person playing the game would feel like I'm having a new patient that is coming in every other time. Then after they're all done, they now go back to the other costume like that, until the doctor is done treating. But the feeling is not that some guy is showing up every other time for treatment. Okay. The other one has no clothes on it that you can trick around with. It's just probably the face that can stay, but then you could have that variation to show that we are dealing with different patients coming in our hospital. I also like the background you chose for the hospital beds. That was creative in your project. That's my feedback generally. Things to improve on. Otherwise, thank you. It's a valid problem you're solving. It's a nice project. Let's try to tweak it a little bit and then also address the PowerPoint, and then we shall be well aligned with this solution to the problem. Thank you so much. I'd like to hear from your teacher about this, and then we'll hear from you about your class experience, and then what you think about what we just said, and then we shall be closing. Rogers. Are you able to speak? You're going back to your spot where darkness is upon your face. Able to speak?
Yes, I'm able to. Okay. So, welcome you guys to this presentation. So, about the project, like I said, programming needs time. So I've always been telling you, Jasmine, that programming needs time. The more time you give to a project, the better it's likely to turn out. We are short of time, but I want to thank you that you stood in there and you tried to pull off a good project. Yes, I also noticed that you had a few issues with the PowerPoint file, but I just wanted you to work that on your own without much interference from me. But moving forward, take heed of all that has been commented about your project and make the best out of it. When you're done improving or upgrading your project, you can again share with us via Discord. And you can also post your project on Scratch community online, and at least the world is able to see what you've come up with from this class. Otherwise, I thank you guys. I thank Code Academy for the opportunity for giving you the future generation acquire these skills at such a tender age. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Rogers. Thank you for the class. Yasmin, from you, would like to hear what do you think about the changes that we've recommended? How was the class generally? Your experience within the class, and how has it helped you learn something new this holiday?
Pardon, I couldn't hear you.
Okay. What I'm saying is that how has the class been for you? The one for intermediate, from the online week to the one physically, how has been the experience that you've got, and also what have you been able to learn differently this time around this particular class?
Oh, okay. So my Scratch intermediate has been a very good class. I've learned a lot of skills from it, and hopefully I'll get a profession in coding. The comments about the project, I now know that I have some bugs to fix, and I will improve them to get better and succeed next time, like properly. Yes. That's all.
Okay, that's all. Okay, thank you, Yasmin. You succeeded. The project is good. We just have a few things to improve. Okay, and you didn't answer the question of how was the online experience. when you were in class and the physical experience? How are the two different? Sorry? Yes, it's at gmail.com, right? So like I've lost you guys. Yes, your network is not good, but you can answer that question.
Pardon, which one?
I was asking that how have you found the class being physical, okay, from the one being online different?
At first we had some problems in the network, so we came to physical classes, and they were better physical than online because I learned more than I did online. I was understanding the things properly, and I got to do this nice project.
Okay, thank you so much, Yasmin. It has been nice having you in this class. We look forward to seeing you in the class for Scratch Advanced next holiday. And we hope that you won't stop at just this class, but even as you go back to school, be able to find a computer and have Scratch on and continue building nice and amazing solutions that the world needs. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's meet again next holiday, and greetings to